It's July 31st, 2026. Welcome to yes2hellwith.com. We have been speaking about conversations, the sheriff, the proper limits of the Constitution, and enforcement for violations of the Constitution. It's one thing to know there is something wrong, but it's another thing to see the solution for it. So today, let's consider the sheriff's declaration to the people. Imagine a sheriff being elected to represent the people and saying this when he is sworn in. Today, before Almighty God and before the people of this great county, I accept the office of sheriff with humility, gratitude, and a profound sense of duty. I recognize that this office does not belong to me. It belongs to the people. I have taken a solemn oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That oath is not ceremonial. It is a covenant that binds me before God, before the people, and before the constitutions I have sworn to support. I recognize that those constitutions exist to preserve the freedom of the people by limiting the authority entrusted to those in public office. They do not create freedom, they preserve it. I therefore make this declaration. I recognize that every person is born free. Freedom does not originate with legislatures. Freedom does not originate with courts. Freedom does not originate with public officials or public employees. Freedom is inherent. The people bear no burden to prove that they are free. Whenever a public official or public employee seeks to restrict the freedom of another, the burden rests upon that official to establish the lawful authority, lawful jurisdiction, and lawful process supporting that action. I recognize that the office of sheriff exists for one enduring purpose: to preserve the peace while protecting the freedom of the people. Freedom is seldom lost all at once. It is most often diminished whenever public officials or public employees exceed their authority entrusted to them. For that reason, vigilance is one of the highest duties of this office. Whenever actions affect the life, freedom, or property of the people, I will carefully examine the authority asserted, the jurisdiction claimed, and the process employed before this office participates. No title alone establishes authority. No badge alone establishes authority. No office establishes authority. Authority must always remain accountable to law. I recognize that the vast majority of public officials and public employees strive to serve honorably. Those who faithfully discharge the authority entrusted to them deserve my respect, my cooperation, and my support. Those who knowingly exceed or even unknowingly exceed that authority should expect this office to faithfully discharge its own responsibilities with equal integrity, professionalism, and resolve. This office shall never be used to intimidate peaceful people. It shall never be used to burden them unnecessarily. It shall never forget that public authority exists to preserve freedom, not to replace it. I recognize that strong families, secure property, and due process are indispensable to a free people. These principles shall guide every decision made within this office. I also recognize that threats to freedom may arise from enemies abroad and from abuses of authorities at home. My oath requires vigilance against both. There will be times when convenience points one direction while duty points to another. My oath will not change because circumstances change. My principles will not change because pressure is applied. My duty will remain constant. Therefore, I pledge to preserve the peace. I pledge to defend the freedom of the people. I pledge to protect life. I pledge to protect property. I pledge to faithfully exercise the authority entrusted to this office with humility, wisdom, restraint, integrity, and courage. I pledge to cooperate with every public official and employee who faithfully exercises the authority entrusted to them. And whenever the freedom of the people is threatened through the unlawful exercise of authority, whether knowingly or not, I will faithfully discharge every responsibility entrusted to this office according to my oath and according to law. When my service as sheriff comes to an end, I pray that this county, and through faithful service, this country, will be more free than when the people entrusted this office into my care. That is my promise. That is my covenant with you. That is my oath to the people. May Almighty God grant me the wisdom to remain faithful to that commitment to you.